Really proud of our guys today. Obviously, coming into a very, very difficult environment here at Kentucky against a very good football team. And, that gave us everything they had out there on the field. They made plays all day long on both sides of the football. And, I think, I don't know if people are giving Mark enough credit for what he's doing here with this outfit and what type of team Kentucky is. And you give them a lot of credit. Their players, quarterback, carried it 23 times, threw for 390. One heck of a day by him. I look, for us, I'm really proud. We had guys step up and make plays when we needed to make plays. We've been able to do that all season. And it's not just one guy. Today, Josh Robinson does a great job carrying the ball and carrying our team on his back, sometimes carrying their team on his back, and continue to run. Christian Holmes, on the onside kick, makes a play to seal the victory for us. All season long, it's kind of been somebody different, and that's one thing I'm really proud of our guys. And how they played today. I thought we played a little tight in the first half. I really do. I know everyone said, boy, this is the, I don't know how many times I've heard this is the first time you've ever played as the #1 team in the country. And I think, in the end, these are young kids. On the end, I think they played a little tight at times during the game today. But we continue to find a way to make plays and continue to find a way ways to win a game. And, so hopefully we can get all this ranking stuff now behind us. I don't know where we'll rank. You can drop us if you want or race. I don't really care on any of that now. And I think it's been neat. I think our kids, now we're probably going to be over it as well. And we're 4-0 in the West after playing a tough road game in a tough environment. And we'll enjoy this one tonight and on to Arkansas tomorrow. Questions?
Yeah, Coach, what you think about Josh Robinson going over 200 yards rushing? He was really the key on offense for y'all today.
He did. He had a heck of a game. He had 23 carries for 198. He had 203 and lost 5, and he was yelling at me when we were in the victory formation right there that he was 2 yards away. And I told him he should have gotten 2 yards earlier in the game. He had 59 minutes to get that done. He's done a great job running the football for us all season long. And then making some big plays, you look, he got tough yards, he got big plays, he did it inside, he did it outside. I thought he really ran the ball very, very well today for us.
Playing and winning your first game as #1, does that ease or increase the pressure going into Arkansas?
I certainly will ease the pressure right now, I think, for all the guys, because, as I said, I don't know, I think now that's kind of over with. And, we'll worry about what's important, and that's being 4-0 in the West.
And for the physics of Josh, 5'9", 215, what do you make of?
And his rear end, it's pretty round, big. He is. He's, they call him a bowling ball. He is kind of that way. I think he's a very strong, powerful guy. Shows he has open field speed. He's a very solid running back. But he is. I think his center of gravity sometimes makes him tough to get down and gets him some tough extra yards at times. He actually, the one play, if you had that one play and you had all his yardage, he probably had about 475 yards rushing, but that only counted for like 10 on the one.
Does this seem like a different Kentucky team to you?
Absolutely. They've played us tough in the past, but I'll tell you what, I think that was two very, very good football teams out there on the field today. And, you watch that team and the plays they were able to make, the players they have, the quarterback that they have, some of the throws he made, big-time throws, runs after catch, all of that stuff. They're a very, very dangerous team. And, I think you're going to see that team continue to grow with the program. But I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with a fantastic year and a great bowl game this year.
What can the team learn from this experience? I think this is the first game where you guys didn't at least have a 20-point lead at some point during the game.
Wow.
I think.
Well, then every game we don't. Every game starts 0-0. So.
At some point.
No. You know what? I think our guys. I like how they played. I don't think they ever flinched during the game. Like I said, I thought we were a little tight, but I don't think we ever flinched. They were going to go out, continue to play, continue to make plays, and knew that we were going to have to play for 4 quarters. In this league, you have to. Every once in a while you're going to hit it right. Maybe the other team's off that day, and you're going to be able to walk away with a game and and just kind of roll on somebody. Even the games that we've been up have still come down. You got to play for 4 quarters, and that's what this league's all about. And we're going to have to do that as we continue to move forward.
Dave, are you going to watch the Tuesday night show when they reveal the rankings?
Tuesday night show. What time does that come on?
I don't know, 7, 8, something like that.
6:30.
Central
or
6:30.
6:30 Central.
You know what? Probably not. We ramp up practice around. I don't. Whatever. I'll be honest with you. When you look at that stuff, and trust me, it's neat. I'll tell you what. I can't. Talk radio Wednesday morning is going to be absolutely amazing, right? The blogs and the family. When you guys write that story and you see the comments, you're going to have. I mean, you're going to have 5,000 comments below when you go write that story on Wednesday morning. For us, our focus is completely on Arkansas and trying to get one more win in the SEC right now. And I think that's the reality. That's the world and the reality we have to live in. And I imagine if the rankings come out, right, the committee comes out, I imagine we'd be in the mix. And as long as you're one of the 4, that would matter this week. And so that'll be a great honor for us. And this week, and if the playoffs were next week, I'd definitely would watch. But since they don't start for quite a long time, I don't know. I might be having dinner. I don't know.
How did you feel about the defense tonight? Bend but don't break, but you guys obviously making big plays on defense when it mattered.
Well, we've been able to do that. I mean, obviously, you give up 500 yards, you're never happy. Give up 400 through the air. I'm certainly not pleased with how we played on defense tonight. But I will say this: first, we've made the plays we needed to do to win the game. And if you watch as a team, our offense often feeds off our defense. We might have to win 3-0 at some point this season. We may have to do that, and and I expect in that type of game we're going to be on the 3, and our defense will give up 0 or something like that. That's as a team. To me, it's all about the team, and our team often feeds off each other. And I'm proud of what we did as a team to get this win today.
Talk about the play that Brendan Hill made, and do you have an update on his status?
Yeah, he tried to go back. I saw him. They was running back. He was out for a little bit, and then at the end of the game, he was running on the field to go in. I think he was in on the last play of the game, so he'll be okay.
Can you talk about the touchdown that he had, though?
He had a great touchdown catch. Did a great job, leveraged his man, and and executed. I think a great throw by Dak, but he's right there again. You look at the stat sheet on the year, you're not going to say, boy, Brandon Hill's made play after play for us. But you know what? When his number was called, he made a huge play, and that's kind of how it's all gone for us this season. And I think that's how our guys practice. Our guys practice that way every day in practice. It is a practice. It is nobody questions. You just go. When you're on the field, you go do your job. And you know what? If the ball's coming to you, we expect you to make a play. If it's not, we expect you to either run a great route or block somebody. And I think we have a very unselfish team that way. And in a way where guys are ready to make plays when their number called. They're not worried when they're not. Number's not called.
Judge, how much does Josh Robinson kind of epitomize what you've done as far as looking at guys evaluating somebody who could play that maybe other people?
Well, I thought he was a heck of a player in high school.
Yeah.
We watched his high school film. I loved him. He came to camp. We loved him. Mm-hmm. He was fast. He could cut. He had he ran. He runs sometimes. Like that far off the ground. But like a lot of things that go on in high school, I'm not going to remember his name, number 18 for LSU. McGee. He was the high school quarterback. He was the prized recruit out of the school. And, but we loved him. We loved Josh. And, he wasn't really heavily recruited, but we kind of trust in what we saw. And I think that stuff happens. I know a lot of times I go in and the coach is like, well, I want the best player on your high school team. Well, sometimes the other guy's really, really, really good too. And, and when they continue to develop and play with a chip on their shoulder, they're going to become really good players.
We've had these conversations about him a lot. Obviously, Josh has always had the talent, but when did it change, just you being able to trust him?
Well, maturity this offseason. You know what I mean? I think, how he trained in the offseason, he was very different. He was, a lot of times in offseason conditioning and the weight room and all that stuff, he had his goofy attitude, which he always has. He's a fun-loving, goofy kid. But that was 24/7, and it was not like, hey, this is not goofy time now. This is time to work. And this offseason, he was the same fun-loving, goofy kid. But when it was time to work, he was locked in and worked and really worked hard. And pushed himself to really new limits this offseason. So that's when he kind of started to gain everybody's trust.
When you mentioned that you've seen the tightness, where did you see that? You seen it before the game, during the game?
Well, I just think everybody, we missed some tackles on the long run. I don't think, we weren't getting a lot of pressure. We're all kind of fitting up front, trying to, maybe not make mistakes on defense, and played instead of attack. Kind of a little bit to not make some mistakes. We dropped some balls on offense. We missed some blocks on offense. I think we were at times under-communicating. They were blitzing us all over the place, sometimes over-communicating instead of just going and playing. And, I talked to our guys even at halftime. You could kind of see it in their eyes a little bit at halftime. And, we told them, that's all I told them. We brought everything up, for the great dramatic second half speech. I said, everybody just come up here. So everybody go, take a deep breath. And the whole team, they did. And that sigh in that room. I said, good. It's done with you. Played. Now let's go out and play our football and go start making plays in the second half. And I thought we did that.
When Turtle returned the onside kick, at any point were you saying just go down, or what was kind of your reaction when he kept running and
No, he was he was a receiver in high school, he'll tell you, right? There was no way he was going down in that scenario. You know that. As long as he had the ball high and tight and tucked away, he was over by the sideline, so if they hit him, I figured he'd go out of bounds. But I watched, and he kind of kept going. I kept waiting for him to get caught. And he kept going, and I kept waiting for him to get caught. I'm like, holy cow, he might actually make it all the way right here. So, he almost ran out the clock. I know you're going to get him, so you can tell him I said that.
A lot has been made about the 1A, 1B defense. It seems
Yeah.
like the 1Bs were getting,
They didn't play real well today, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll look at it statistically. We would go watch the film. That'd be good. That'd be a challenge for them. I'll tell you what, practice is going to be a little bit more. One of the things I think that happens with that time is, we talk about you can never be casual. And you got to remember, a lot of the 1Bs are some younger players that now, the younger guys probably enjoy the pats on the back a little bit more than the older guys. And, so those 1Bs right now, I'll tell you what, though, I don't think it'll be real casual at practice for them this week. We'll pursuit drill going tomorrow right there. We'll get back out to work tomorrow, and I can promise you this, with Jeff and our staff, they'll make sure it's not casual tomorrow.
Caleb Buell was probably the biggest game he's had, maybe in his career. I think 2 sacks.
Did he? I saw the one was great. Kind of ripped him. That's a big kid, Toll's kid, really big. I told everybody, people didn't want to believe me. He's a lot more athletic than he gets credit for, and he showed that today. He's a heck of a quarterback. But he had a great. You expect that as Caleb, a fifth-year senior, bought into our program, done everything the right way, Caleb to me is one of my special guys, always will be for the rest of my life. I love Caleb Buell, love everything about him, the type of kid he is. To be where he's at from where he's from is what makes college football special. And if you don't know where he's from, go do some research on Caleb Buell and see where he's from and what he's done in his life, and you'll see why he makes college football special.
Coach, you're looking at how Kentucky kept coming back, and if I understood you correctly, at halftime you told the team to take a side relief. You had you were confident that you guys were going to be able to play football and win this game, obviously.
We were. I don't think. I knew we'd be playing for a 4-quarter game. I knew that's a heck of a football team we were playing. But I knew if we continued to play and continued to make plays, we were going to have a great opportunity to win. And, you never know who's going to make the last play in a game. With Evan, they're driving. And, in the end, honestly, I think Christian Holmes' touchdown, we made the last play. And to win the game, and then Matt Wells, I think, did Matt Wells get that sack, or was that it?
I think so.
Matt Wells got the sack, and their final attempt to go do it all again and have to go on the on-hand steam again to really kind of shut the game down at the end. But I think our whole sideline was very confident the whole game. But we knew Kentucky's a heck of a team. We're going to be in a 4-quarter game.